They did the grind. They did the daily grind. The daily grind. Ooh. They did the daily grind. Okay. Yep. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I am your host, Luke Hatmaker. And if this is your first time joining us on a Monday, the songs get better as the week go along. That's the beauty of this. Happy Monday, everybody. I got Rusty with me. It's a little different today than normally. I got Uncle Buck. We're doing some switcherooing today. How are you, brother, though? It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Rusty.
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here back in Memphis. You know, was on the road all last week for mama's surgery. And for those of you keeping up at home, she did awesome. She's a freaking rock star. Didn't doubt it for a second, but was in great hands at UAB. They took really good care of us. Everybody was really friendly, really kind. And then, again, mama was a champ. So, but glad to be back home for sure.
Heck yeah, man. It's nothing like – dude, the Wayno's throwing shade at my songs. There's nothing like – those situations are already like they're not fun to be in for the people involved. And so when the people that are there are just nice, it's you don't realize how nice it can be. Like if you're just nice to someone, you can change their day. That's what one of the of the show. We just try to make everybody's day better. But I'm glad that everything was as positive as it was down there, man. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, it was great, man. Again, the staff was really great. Hey, what's up, Stain? Thanks for being here this morning, buddy. Everybody was great. Everybody was really friendly and went out of their way to make us comfortable. So big shout out to UAB and take care of Mama Lee for sure.
Yeah, heck yeah. Huge shout out to our boys too, man. That we had we're gonna use this part of the show to we're gonna talk about the game tonight, but we're also gonna talk about the game over the weekend because we didn't have a show over the weekend, but there was a preseason game.
Yeah.
Grizzlies played the Bulls, beat the Bulls in we were down 21 points?
Mm-hmm. They had a nice little comeback. We looked the part of an NBA team. Don't look now, but we might have solved our backup big problem. Like, I know there's a lot of things that could change, but Jay Huff is smooth with it, man. I like watching that dude hoop. Yes. He's big. He plays big, but he can shoot. He always seems to be in the right spot. What I liked about his games, they had 18 and 9 freaking rebounds. The last time we had a big had 9 rebounds. It's Steven Adams, right?
Steven Adams.
18 and 9 in 21 minutes. Like, that's about as efficient as you're going to be. Right. I'm okay with him taking 15 shots because who else is going to take shots in that lineup on Saturday? But yeah, man, Huff looked good.
He was 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. Mm-hmm. Like that's if that's our backup big that's able to come out there and space the floor like that. That's really, really good. Like this is one of those guys. I'm considering all the teams in the league that claim to need a center or a backup center. I don't know what this guy was doing. Not on a team. It's really strange.
We can say the same with Pip, right? Like we're just finding other people just get kind of cast off. They haven't been in the right situation with the right team around them. And I mean, Huff just seems like he's fitting in with this team. Everybody seems to love him from the interviews and the talk at practice and stuff. And oh, by the way, he's 7 foot 1 inches tall. Like, I mean, the guy's a monster. And you talk about like a guy who could play alongside and help space the floor for Luke and Dez or Vince on that second unit eventually. Like that's going to be some great floor spacing for a second unit that, again, like we may not have to look far. You know, we've been talking about Pip getting that 14th roster spot. Yeah. I think there's a real conversation where Jay Huff might get that 15th roster or 14th roster spot as our backup center.
I mean, it's an incredible problem to have when we're talking when we have two guys on two ways that we're legitimately talking about their shots as the final roster spots and not worried. You know, like either one of these dudes, they could be both those roster spots, and I'd be a happy camper. You know.
Yeah, Pip will quit turning the damn ball over.
Oh yeah, man. Like very. So that will be the. Honestly, I'm a little. Just quick rundown of this game. The Grizzlies shot the ball 43% from the field, 35% from the 3-point line, and 70% from free throws. Bulls shot better than them in every category except field goal. Like we turned the ball over more. We had a couple more assists. We had more rebounds, but they shot the ball better than us. And that was a gritty win for us on Saturday, man. Like, and spearheaded by Jalen Wells. I want to talk about Jalen Wells because that's who I'm most excited for the remainder of the preseason. I want to see what he is able to do tonight. I want to see what he's able because let's remember too, the Bulls played most of their starters. They played their dudes on Saturday, and our second unit beat them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, spearheaded by Jalen Wells. 24 points in 32 minutes. My guy was plus 18 in the plus minus. And then not only that, but when it mattered, it was 119 apiece, and he hit that big three on what a play, right? Entry pass to Edie. He wasn't there. He saw Jalen with a great read, hit him on the elbow, and bang, as Mike Perry would say, just buried the shot.
Yeah.
Incredible shot. I tell you, man, like Wayno said, he is everything we wanted out of Zaire, but better, right? Like, he actually has a shot. He actually competes. And I'm not like going to sit here and bash Zaire forever. Like, I get it. Just wasn't a good fit. But Jalen Wells is showing me, like, hey, maybe we got another shooter out of Washington State. I don't know. There's this one guy, I don't even heard of him, Klay Thompson.
Who?
Pretty good shooter. And Jalen Wells is apparently going to follow in those footsteps and be a great NBA shooter.
The thing that has impressed me so much about Wells is the confidence, man. Like, and this isn't a rational confidence we're talking about. This isn't the confidence exhibited by Dylan Brooks, where he's chucking up 14 shots. He is making these shots at an efficient clip. I mean, he was almost 50% from the field, almost 50% from three. Like, the dude is, and he's 6 assists. Like,
I mean, he gets in there and he mixed it up. He had a steal. He had two rebounds. Again, like, just showing confidence and playing beyond his years. There's going to be some growing pains. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is fun right now. There's going to be some of those growing pains for sure. He loves to attack. In college, that was his one thing, is that he doesn't attack the rim super well. And so far in the preseason, he's been getting to the rim. He's been getting in the paint and making some tough interior shots. But the biggest thing, man, is he's just, like you said, he's confident. He's got some swagger, and when his shot's not falling, he still shoots. He still participates. Like, you can't, like, with Zaire, when he would be having an off night, you would just see his whole aura would just
shrink.
come down.
He
exactly.
Yep.
And Jalen, when his shot's not falling, he keeps shooting, which, again, I'm fine with, because the more he shoots, the more likely they're going to start going in. Yep. And B, especially with the second unit. Now, if he was taking shots away from Dez or somebody like that, we might have a different conversation. But on the second unit, man, fire away, find your shot, and just be confident. That's what he does. And he defends at a high level too.
Yes. I mean, man, if I'm like Jake, and if I'm Jitty and I'm seeing this kid do this, I'm starting to sweat, especially if I'm Jake. Because Jake's kind of been given, he's not showing what I think a lot of us were hoping he was going to show, given a little bit more. I mean, this is his time to shine. I don't think either of us had this as Jalen Wells was going to be the guy that showed that he could take that.
No, and I've been big on Jalen Wells since the beginning. Like, since we drafted him and been high on him on this show, on the 2 Buck Sports show. And then Drew and I got in an argument in the green room before our show. We recorded our show on Thursday over Jake LaRavia. He was like, "You'll never admit when Jake LaRavia is good." And I said, when Jake LaRavia is good, I'll admit it, but I hadn't seen it yet. Like, there's not enough there for me to say that Jake LaRavia has a spot on this team. I think he had 20 points against the Bulls in 27 minutes. He was in net -3, 5 for 16 of shooting, less than 50% from the field. Like, the sample size is growing, and it's not getting any better for me. I don't know. I'll happily eat crow. I will happily eat crow if Jake LaRavia ends up being good. I just don't see it happening.
The more the preseason goes along, and the more that Jalen Wells plays better, the more Jake LaRavia is starting to play like someone who can feel someone breathing down their neck,
100%.
Forcing it. And it's like, oh man, like, it's not what you want to see from a young, it's not, I mean, you've said it a lot. Hopefully he can continue putting a very good tape together for the trade deadline. Because that's what this is for.
Yeah. Like I said, every time Jake has had a decent game, I have said he's making a great highlight film for the trade market, because I do think we have found Luke's replacement, as Wayno said here in the comments. I think that Jalen Wells can be that. He defends where Jake doesn't, and he doesn't move like his feet are in concrete. Like, it's like Jake LaRavia plays in ankle weights. Like, his feet are just slow.
Yes.
You can get past him, whereas Jalen Wells, it moves laterally better. He's wider. It seems like he plays at least wider or longer anyway. I just think he fits what we're trying to do, and I want to see that continue tonight against the Pacers.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem with Jake has always been he looks like he's playing with concrete shoes, and these other guys around him aren't playing that way. It's just it's tough for
Jalen Wells is an athlete. Jake LaRavia is not. Like, I'm just some people. That's why you and I are sitting here talking about basketball now, playing basketball at a high level, because some people are athletes and some are not.
That's the reason. I assumed I thought it was because of extenuating circumstances, but I guess you're right.
Maybe.
You want to see Jalen Wells? I imagine. I mean, at this point, it seems especially if we keep, not playing the starters as much, it seems like this is going to continue. The other big thing that I'm really looking forward to is obviously Zach Edey.
Yeah.
He, like against he played Vucci Main. He was against Vucci Main in the Bulls. And in that game, he finished with 15
whole
points.
Stat line. That's wild.
15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 22 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, 5 of 7 from the line.
How many turnovers?
0.
How many personal fouls? 0. I mean, my guy played a high-level NBA center and played well, and it's figured it out. Like, you saw it against the Hornets. You saw it against the Bulls. He's finding ways to get position in the paint like a 10-year pro. Like, he was sealing off 2 guys against the Hornets. He had Bucci Man in his hip pocket all night and could do just about whatever he wanted. We still need to figure out a post-entry pass. But, I think that Edey is showing where he's going to fit on this offense, and it's just that bruising scorer down low that we've been missing. And, again, I've said it, numerous times. I'm not the only one. I'm not going to take credit. I know Sane said it. Other people said it. You said it. He's going to make our half-court offense so much better, and he's showing glimpses of that already. I mean, when you play 22 minutes as a rookie that's 7'4" and defends at a high level and have no turnovers, no personal fouls while still having 3 blocks, that's a stat line, man.
No question, man. And then he more so than Jalen Wells at this point, I want to see, because he's got Miles Turner tonight, assuming Miles Turner plays. He's got Miles Turner tonight, and then he'll have Bam on that final preseason game, assuming Bam plays. Those are, after Vucci Man, those are two quality upper half of the league centers. I mean, Bam's top 5. Yeah. Those are dudes. His medal is going to be tested. And each game he is looking so much more improved than the game previously. It's really impressive.
You think back to that Jazz game where he beat up Walker Kessler for 4 quarters, and he's already a better player than that. He's already making smarter decisions and getting in position and boxing out and sealing his man off. He's already getting better. And we've only played 3 preseason games. I mean, he's played 5 total games for the Memphis Grizzlies, and we're already seeing massive strides, including I can't get over how many games in Jaren's rookie year did he have 0 fouls? I could probably count it on maybe 2 fingers.
Yep. I would say, maybe 1 or 2. The no fouls that's the kind of stuff that veteran centers in this league spend 10, 12 years.
The guy has played, I talked about this on Sane's show, the guy has played 6 years of organized basketball. 2 of those years, he was the Naismith Player of the Year. And we're worried about how Edey is going to fit in this offense. Don't listen to the talking heads. Listen to your friends on the daily grind. We're telling you what's appropriate and what's real. And that's that Zach Edey is an NBA player and going to be, if not the Rookie of the Year, he will be a strong candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Yep. I think he's running away with it at this point. I mean, it's early, but too many guys in the Rockets. The rest of the preseason for me is I want to see Zach Edey. That's who we want to see. Hopefully
Jay Huff when he's off. I want to see Jay Huff.
Jay Huff. I just want to see our bigs. That's all I want to see. Give me the bigs. And tonight's game, I'm pretty sure tonight's game will be. It's on Bally, I believe, right?
It's on Bally. Yep. This one's on Bally. Yep.
This one we can watch. So it's 6 Central, I think. Is that right? It's early because
6 p.m. Central at Indiana. Grizz are a 5.5-point road underdog against the Indiana Pacers.
So if you want to gamble on preseason basketball,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
That seems wild. I ain't going to do it. I made some money this weekend, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. I made a little money in college and professional football. Yesterday, Baker Mayfield did me well, but we'll talk about it on another show.
Yeah, that's a good transition, though. Let's talk college. Let's talk college not basketball, college hoops, college football, Jesus. Because there was some – we're getting into the thick of it, man. The you got that smile. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, there were some great games. The Oregon-Ohio State game is probably the best game of the year. First of all, like I said, hey, if you hadn't checked it out, check out Bucks 2 Cents. I talked college football, kind of the highlights that dropped yesterday. That was uniform porn, man. Those were 2 of the best looking uniforms I've seen all year, with the Oregon black with the green trim, Ohio State's white with the silver hat. It looked incredible.
Yes.
But let's talk about the game that I really want to talk about. LSU, Ole Miss. I said at the beginning of the season, Ole Miss can be 11-1. There's also a real chance, because they're Ole Miss, that they might win 8-9 games. And Drew lost his mind and got upset at me. And I want you to look now, Uncle Buck, but 9-3 seems very likely with Georgia still on the schedule. You go to LSU, he told me, oh, I hate that Death Valley, and that's where dreams go to die. Well, guess what, buddy? That's where dreams go to die, according to Les Miles. Ole Miss went down there with all the playoff implications in front of them, all the chance. Like, you win this game and you are in the driver's seat for a top 12 position, only to lose in overtime to Garrett Nussmeier. And don't look now, LSU's quietly 5-1. They're not the same LSU that we've always had, but that was a massive win for the Tigers and an even more incredible loss for Lane Kiffin, who cannot seem to win the big game. Ole Miss can't get out of their own way. And I thought this was interesting. There's been all this talk about these fake injuries. Ole Miss, through 4 games against Power 4 conferences, have had 38 stoppages due to injury. So we need to have a conversation. Either we need a new strength and conditioning program or quit faking injuries, man. Come on. Because like Shane Beamer said, the timing is always interesting. That's all I'm going to say about that. It was a great game. Ohio State, Oregon, great game. How can you not love college football?
I mean, this weekend was awesome. And I didn't even think that's probably why Uncle Buck didn't want to be on the show today. I didn't even think about that.
That's it, man.
So do you think there were, what do you think about the play? There's some implications starting to happen from week to week. Do you think that there were any major shuffling that was going to happen after that?
For sure. I think a hot take. I don't know that Alabama makes the playoff, even though they have one loss. They have been struggling. They struggled. Obviously, lost to Vanderbilt. They did not look good against South Carolina. A couple fluky bounces went their way, and they won that game.
Yeah.
I don't think Tennessee makes it either. I think Josh Heupel. Paging Josh Heupel. If you're a UT fan, you don't want him fired. I know that's the fan base's MO, but he needs to figure it out because he has been very vanilla, foot on the brake. Like, he has really stripped that offense down these last couple of games, it looks like. Mm-hmm. And it almost it bit him against Arkansas. Yeah. And it almost bit him against
Gators.
Florida, and took overtime to beat him. Florida's not a good football team.
Nope.
The other one, I think Penn State and Oregon kind of made their statements. Oregon, obviously, they're in the driver's seat of the Big Ten, first year in the Big Ten. Penn State went – so the going into Saturday, the Big Ten was 1-8 when they traveled 2 time zones to play a football game. So Penn State traveled to USC to play at Los Angeles and made them 2-8 only for Ohio State to lose. They're now 2-9 when they travel two time zones. But Penn State with a massive win over USC. They're undefeated. The only game they have left against a ranked team is Ohio State. And if that's their only loss, I think Penn State is one of your top 12 teams.
Yep. Man, Penn State, that game, there were a lot of the close OT games are always –
yeah.
That's what made college football really fun. Because even the casual user can just turn it on and be like, what's happening?
Yeah. And the last game I want to talk about, because I haven't been able to talk about them all year because we've sucked, is Mississippi State.
Come on.
We lost to Georgia by 10 points, and I hate moral victories. That's stupid. But – I talk about this on Bucks 2 Cents. Mississippi State, through 3 SEC games, has scored 24 points per game, which is more than Ole Miss, Kentucky, Arkansas, Auburn, Oklahoma, and one other team. We're averaging more points per game in SEC play than all of those teams. Now, we're 0-3 in SEC play, but we're getting better. True freshman Michael Van Buren has accounted for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns, no picks in the last 2 games, which, by the way, were at Austin and at Athens against Georgia. Don't look now, but Mississippi State's going to upset somebody. God, I hope it's Ole Miss, but it could be Tennessee, Missouri. There's going to be a game that we're going to sneak up and win. Now, we can't defend. We couldn't stop Memphis Middle School. I don't nobody. But Mississippi State is getting quietly better, and Levy we trust, and it gets your jokes in while you can now, Uncle Buck, because State's not going to be down forever.
I love it. I love it. Memphis won.
Memphis won.
They beat Southern Florida. Is that who they had?
South Florida, yeah.
South Florida. Mm-hmm. So they're 5-1. I mean, that
Navy loss just sucks, man.
That Navy loss sucks because you take that. I think they are in contention. You take that loss.
100%. They're in the driver's seat of the group of 5. I mean, they are, and that sucks that they lost. I'll say, I know there's a lot of Memphis fans out there, and I love Memphis and wish they would have won. I was rooting for them. But we live in a world where the Army-Navy game might be for a play-in for the playoff, and I'm here for that.
That's crazy.
For the first time since 1945, both teams are 6-0. There's a really good chance that, again, they'll both be undefeated at the end of the year. It's probably Boise State's to lose right now, but dadgummit, that game might matter more than just being an awesome game.
It's really wild that game might have as many implications as it will. Really? What?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the drama, man. The drama. This is why college sports is so great. This is the reason. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's You don't get this kind of drama in preseason basketball.
No, you don't. And don't look now, but Vanderbilt is 4-2. And the wildest statement of the weekend was Mark Stoops, the Kentucky coach, said in his postgame presser, like, you see what Vanderbilt did? They went out and got Diego Pavia with their NIL money. When we can have NIL money like Vanderbilt, we'll compete in the SEC. And I'm like, is this like the Twilight Zone? Because, like, since when is Vanderbilt like the standard bearer for NIL money in the SEC? Like, what a wild turn of events. But they're 4-2, baby. Like, I talked about this yesterday. There's a path to 7 wins for them. Ball State, Auburn, South Carolina are still on their schedule. Like, don't look now. Vanderbilt might win 7-8 games this year if they can upset Tennessee at the end of the year.
Who had that in their bingo card? Not me. Not me. Love it. We're going to take a quick break. Enough college football. When we come back, we're going to talk about our weekends, man. We had some fun. I had a good weekend, kind of. We're going to talk weekend. Talk Mondays and talk lasagnas. But we're going to take a quick break first. We'll be right back after this.
This is a question I don't know if you've ever been asked. Was there anyone you ever wanted to dunk on? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you haven't get a big kick out of that one. I'm glad you've been waiting all day for that. Just waiting all day to get that little jokey joke in. Oh, you got a joke. But yeah, I always wanted to dunk in the game. That's what I wanted to do. And it didn't have to be on anybody. And I wanted it to be off of a missed shot, like on an offensive rebound, so that everyone's around or in the vicinity when it happened.
Did you ever dunk in practice and get overly excited?
Yes. and everybody be like, well, are you going to do it in a game? And I'm like, no.
Tune in to the Night Court podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I think Zach Edey played well. He got his fouls in. He got them in for sure. But we saw some flashes of really what he can do. Whether that's setting screens or just blocking shots or just making guys change their mind about shots or just affecting the quality of shots that guys were getting in the game. We saw that a lot. They gotta use him though, man. They gotta be able to find him a little bit.
I was about to say they especially the whole first quarter. It was like, because I think that lob that y'all had him, that was his first points of the game. So it was like the whole first quarter, I did peep that. It was like, I see everybody else attempting 5+ shots.
Right.
Y'all got to find a way to give Zach Edey something like at some point. Everything was running well last night, right? The offense was flowing well. It's going to come a stretch of time where they're going to be stagnant. And at that time, that's when I expect them, okay, hey, let's run the post play to Zach Edey.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome. Man, the second song's always better than the first. Welcome back to the Daily Grind, y'all. You can catch Anthony Sane Show that you just saw. You can catch Night Court that you just saw. You can catch $2 Sports Show. You can catch No Bluffing. You can catch the Grizz 901 live show. They will be tonight. Daniel is on vacation, but Ryan Meadows and Nate, they will be on the show tonight. And then on opening night, I know Sane is going to be there with DG. So they got a lot cooking, y'all.
Let's go.
It's going to be good. Yeah, let's go. It's going to be good. You can check Jess Benson out too over at Grind City Media. She's starting in a couple minutes, but finish our show first and then go over there.
Exactly.
Back to our show, y'all. Mondays, therefore lasagna around here. If this is your first time joining us, I love Garfield the cat. In Garfield we trust. Look at him. Look at him. You love him. He's the best. He hates Mondays and he loves lasagna. And I think it's important to recognize the good and the bad in life. So on Mondays, we talk about the good and the bad, the Mondays and the lasagna. I can go first. Monday. Was I ready for this? Monday. Oh man, I feel so generic and white, and old. I'm ready for fall. I'm going to complain. I'm going to complain about the weather until it's fall outside. I don't care that it's stupid and white and small talk. I'm tired of it.
No, I hear you.
I sweat weird, and as a person who sweats weird, if it's over 75 degrees outside, my body is just like shutting down. It's disgusting. It's just awful. It feels like fall outside right now, and so I'm pretty excited about that. I got a jacket on. Everything's coming up. Garfield for Halloween. It might happen, DG. And my lasagna. I got to watch, man, I got the kids in the soccer tournament this weekend. So we got to just watch. I miss those days, like there's nothing quite like going and spending all day just like those environments, watching people play, watching the kids play, everybody cheering. And so we spent the weekend doing that, and it was awesome.
Nice, man.
It's good weather for it, even though
I was about to say, yeah, I mean, it was good weather for it. It was hot. My brother and I played a little golf towards the end of last week, and I sweated to death. But it's getting there. Like, we at least start in the mornings, and then it gets hotter. But like, that's going to continue, right? Where those cool mornings are going to extend into the mid morning and the afternoon. Before you know, we'll have cool days. Hopefully,
can't wait.
For me, Monday, obviously, mama having surgery, it's just like, it's always scary when your mama's, going on the knife and all that. But again, she was a rock star. So grateful to have that behind me. But my lasagna was, I got back on Saturday, kind of midday, and Maggie and I had a great date weekend. Went to a local place in Memphis called Coastal Fish Company. If you hadn't been there, it's at Shelby Farms. It was amazing. The food was incredible. I had these scallops with this like house smoked lamb bacon, roasted pistachios. It was incredible. Best part was they took a key lime pie, they dipped it in dark chocolate, and we had like a dark chocolate dip key lime pie. Amazing. And then Luke, I know you appreciate this, but yesterday we did another escape room, and it was awesome. It was called Monsters in the Manor. And so like, you're in this house and there's these monsters are breaking through the portal, and you're having to like prevent them from breaking. Dude, it was legit spooky. There was an elevator. There was this, it was an incredible, it was a very good, very, very good escape room, right? Like, Dinosaurs is still the best one we've done, but this one was one of the better ones for sure.
Monsters in a Manor coming through a portal sounds sick.
It was awesome. Sick. It was awesome. It was awesome,
man. I need to just do these. These sound great.
So
I like,
fun,
especially if you have a modicum of an imagination. Do they have names? Can I name the monsters? I guess you could attach to them if you name them. I don't want to do that.
And they do. There was one part where they gave you names and gave you stuff about them, like details. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that wants to go do it, but it's a Memphis escape room in East Memphis. It was awesome. Like, like you said, I have a wild imagination. I can immerse myself in it. It's spooky season. There's monsters. Do it. It was awesome.
Oh, spooky season. Oh man, I'm so spooky season's here. It's feeling like fall.
Yes.
Stay tuned into our show, y'all. We're gonna be doing spooky stuff, theme stuff. We've already done candy. We're gonna do movies. We might do Halloween costumes. Yeah. Or we might draft like the worst sexy Halloween costumes. That might be fun.
That might be fun.
Like a sexy coal miner. I don't know.
Sexy sumo wrestler.
There we go. That's weird. That's going to do it for our show today, y'all. Tune in tomorrow. We will be back. Watch the game tonight. We got to support our guys. Go check Jess Benson out right now. Catch all of our shows this week. Anthony Sane Show, Grizz 901 Live, $2 Sports Show, No Bluffing, man. All of it. Check out all of our stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. Have good days at work, everybody, though. Have a great day. And if I can leave you with anything today, remember these two little things, just two things. Remember to be a little weird, just a little bit, and remember to smile. Bye, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.